Conduct in the City Council chambers. Rules of decorum for the public. Members of the audience shall not engage in disorderly or boisterous conduct, including the utterance of loud, threatening, or abusive language, clapping, whistling, stamping of feet, or other acts which disturb, disrupt, impede, or otherwise render the orderly conduct of the city meeting infeasible. A member of the audience engaging in any such conduct shall, at the discretion of the presiding officer or a majority of the city council, be subject to ejection from the meeting per Government Code Section 54954.3C. Removal from the council chambers. Any person who commits the following acts in respect to a meeting of the city shall be removed from the council chambers per Government Code Section 54954.3C. A, disorderly, contemptuous, or insolent behavior towards the city council or any member thereof, tending to interrupt the due and orderly course of said meeting. A breach of peace, boisterous conduct, or violent disturbance tending to interrupt the due and orderly course of said meeting. Disobedience of any lawful order from the mayor, which shall include an order to be seated or to refrain from addressing the city council, and any other unlawful interference with the due and orderly course of said meeting.
Welcome to the Taft City Council Successor Agency Joint Regular Meeting Agenda, Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. The City of Taft Council meetings are held in person with full capacity seating and streamlined at youtube.com/user/City of Taft. Public comment can be made in person and also can be received. Written comments may be dropped off in the drop box in front of City Hall. Comments may be emailed to the city clerk at cityclerk@cityoftaft.org. Made by phone to the city clerk's office at 661-763-1222. Public comments will be accepted up until 5 p.m. the day of the meeting. Any comments received will be read into the record. I'd like to have Councilman Chavera would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Absolutely. If you could please join me in the flag salute. And of the heart, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Sean Pfeiffer will lead us in invocation.
All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you understanding that you are the one that guides all of history. So we pray for this meeting, that things go well, that decisions are wise. We pray for our little town. We thank you for it. We thank you for those that protect it and watch over it. Pray that those that would seek to bring harm would not succeed, and those that seek to do good would succeed. We pray this in Jesus' name.
Amen.
City Clerk, may we have a roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
Here.
Councilmember Bryant.
Here.
Councilmember Waldrop.
Here.
Councilmember Chavera.
Here.
And Mayor Knorr is absent with notice.
Thank you. Our first order of business would be the swearing in the of our officer, Blaine Loven.
Fortunately, goes by Mick Levin.
I want to see the fake ID.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Blaine Levin,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Don't get upset. I'm never good at that. We're gonna leave it right there. Don't jump up and down, man. Congrats.
Thank you very much, sir.
Mike, cheers if you wanna take a shot at it.
I'm okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, we want to hear something.
I'm glad he's joining our troops and joining our family. So he's a Taft police officer. We need him, and he's doing a great job. He's on FTO currently. Excited that he's with us.
Thank you. I'd like for us, the council, have a photo with you, and also with the other officers, if they're here.
They are here.
Thank you.
Go ahead. There you go.
Yeah. They're all in the camera shot. Squeeze in, guys and gals.
Yeah, let's go. Come on, move it. Okay, okay. You need to step, can you step over there? Between the floor and the new car, there you go. Now we can see everybody's face. Okay. Ready, on the count of three, ready, 1, 2, 3. And one more here. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's better.
I also have a couple of awards that I would like to give out tonight to some officers. These are called CHP 10851 awards. Let me get a little information for you. So what these are, and now that they're going to be easy once we put flock into effect, but the 10851 award is given by the CHP, and it's given to officers throughout the county and throughout Bakersfield, actually, for work for recovery of stolen vehicles. And also they have to, not only are they recovering stolen vehicles, but they have to have so many to where they recover individuals driving them, so pursuits with them, or arresting them in possession of them, in possession. So they receive these awards from CHP, and I just wanted to acknowledge some of our officers because it's no easy task receiving these. They've got I believe it's like 3 rollers, what we call them, or 4 rollers, and 10 ducks, so it's, or is it 12? How do we go, Brian?
Total of 12 in a calendar year.
12 in a calendar year, and it's like 4 rollers and 8 ducks or something to that nature, if I recall. It's been a long time since I've had one, but I have, and but it's been a while. But I want to bring up my first officer, I call her Holly, but Holland Dewar. Congratulations, young lady.
Thank you.
She hasn't always been pregnant, so she has been lately. So congrats. It's no easy feat getting these also. Like I said, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of leg work to get these. And my second officer I'd like to bring up, he's going to come up a little bit slower, and that will be Francisco Cubias. And these are their first award, CHP 10851 pins, and we expect a bunch more from them. So. better soon. He was injured in a recent 148, and the 148 is when you end up fighting with a subject who has to be taken into custody, and he hurt his knee, and we're expecting him back as soon as he can, but of course we want him healed. So now I'm going to cover some statistics for the month of September, looks like. Our calls for service in the month of September were 425. We had an officer-initiated incidents of 466, which I tout that all the time. That's our officers going out, stopping individuals, walking vehicles, making their own initiated stops, with a total of 891 total incidents for the month of September. Total officer cases written were 140. Accidents, which are traffic, and that was 8. We had a total misdemeanor and felony arrests of 55. We had 43 misdemeanor arrests, and of course, with the felony arrest, which doesn't seem to be written on here, but I can deduct out of 48, there was 12 felony arrests. So they're out working. They're definitely out there putting people in jail that are not good for our city. So we enjoy having them, and my troops are doing a good job. I'm very proud of them. I wouldn't trade them for anybody, and that goes for my dispatchers, with my animal control, my CSU. We've got a good team put together, and we're going to continue to move forward. We're going to move on to a flock presentation, but before we do, I kind of want to address a few things that I've noticed that have been problems for our department and basically for every city. It's homelessness or vagrancy, which we've had many issues with, and a lot of citizens are not happy with it, and we understand that. There's no one more unhappy than myself and then the city manager and the staff here. We worked real hard to get fines put in place for them, but if you think about it, administrative fines really don't work on individuals that don't have jobs and are homeless. So we've actually are doing a lot right now. We're reaching out to some attorneys, and we're with our attorney, city attorney, and we're going to start making them, well, we're in the process of attempting to make them criminal, where we can actually have some teeth when we put individuals in jail. But you have to understand, some of these homeless, there's about 8 to 10 that are actually mentally ill. So it's not really the fact that they're just homeless, it's the fact that they are mentally ill. And when we arrest them, we're not arresting them because, you know, we enjoy arresting them. We're arresting them because we're trying to get them help, trying to get them drug diversion. We're trying to get them to the mental institutions where they can actually have some kind of services that are needed. Right now, it's a struggle in Kern County, and it's a struggle in the state of California. Individuals put into place Prop 47, and I don't think they understood when they voted for Prop 47 because of the ramifications of it. It basically took the teeth out of law enforcement. Because if you think 10 to 12 years back, you really didn't see homeless laying around. So with the new laws put in place, it basically allows us to, well, makes us kind of keep their hands off of them unless they're doing something illegal. And being homeless laying in an area, you know, we've put in place that are administrative fines if they bring all their camping gear and all that stuff with them. Of course, we can cite them and we can make them move on, or at least pick up their stuff. But individuals that lay in the shaded areas or lay up on the rails to trails, or for that matter, anywhere that's a public area, it's really hands off. We can ask them to leave, and if there are violations, if they have warrants, we run them quite frequently. We know the ones that have warrants, and we take those people into custody. It's just to the point now where it's California that needs to change, basically. And we are going to try our best to make some of the issues that we have criminal. But yet there's a fine line that we have to walk. And, of course, we're definitely going to do that. And I just wanted to pass that on to individuals. There's been Facebook posts, whether they're accurate or not accurate. I've read them. We look into it. We respond to all the calls for service, and we stay within the law. That's where we're at. That's what we do. So I just wanted to pass that on to everybody so they get a full understanding of what we do as law enforcement officers. And now I'm going to move on to a study session that we're going to have this evening, and it's regarding Flock. And Flock is a camera system that's been put together, and it's through the state of California and now pretty much all the way through the county. And these cameras are quite intense. They can read license plates. That's what they call their LPRs, license plate readers. And we put them in the ingress and egress of our city. This is something we want to do, and this is something we want to bring to the council. So we're going to have kind of a study session where you guys can get an understanding of what these are. And we're going to have a PowerPoint put on by Jake Sherman of Flock in a couple of seconds. I just wanted to kind of give you some of the heads up about what Flock does. We have had a trial period where we've been able to utilize them. And you're talking BPD has 60 to 90. Kern County Sheriff's Department has 30 plus. CRC has, quite a few, several or 10. So we're able, and through Delano, through McFarland, through all the other small cities, Tehachapi, they all utilize these cameras. And once we get into that system, we are able to utilize all the system, not just the ones that are in Taft. If we have issues where stolen vehicles from our city are found in other places, they can pick up on license plate readers in other cities or other towns in Kern County. We all have that connection and function together. So it's quite a law enforcement investment, but it's well worth it. The investigative outcome that utilizing these cameras has been phenomenal. It's just something that we can't, we've got to get on board, and we are. And I just wanted to have this presentation for Jake to step up and kind of, if there's any questions you have, and explain it to a fuller detail to where you guys will understand. And if you have any questions to ask, this is the gentleman you can ask. So Jake, I'm going to pass it over to you, sir.
Excellent. Thank you for that. It's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Jake Sherman. I'm the Territory Sales Manager for Flock Safety in Southern California. So as Chief mentioned, Flock, we have a variety of solutions, but really the goal is to eliminate crime and shape a safer future. There's a couple slides I want to get into, and I think I'll kind of go through them, and if you have any questions at the end, we're more than happy to kind of have that discourse. So let me share my screen. Can you all see those slides?
Looks so.
Okay. So what we observe here at Flock Safety is limited police resources, crime continues to hurt communities, and trust is needed more than ever. The opportunity at hand is truly utilizing technology as a force multiplier. The goal is to protect first responders and communities using technology, collect and distribute objective evidence to the right users in the field, and engage community to support and grow safety across the region. The Flock Safety platform is a variety of products. What we're actually going to be discussing today and what kind of the project is at hand is this Falcon vehicle fingerprint technology license plate recognition camera. The idea with Flock Safety is that we build hardware products to detect objective evidence. We use a variety of different feature sets in our software to decode that evidence and machine learning and deliver that to the law enforcement officers at the headquarters or on their mobile devices or in their vehicles. So we have a pretty intensive product that is doing a lot of vehicle recognition and simply capturing objective evidence for a variety of different issues. So again, the Falcon product, this is what you guys are looking at for the first project. What the Falcon is like I said, a vehicle fingerprint license plate reader camera. So it's actually infrastructure free. So we actually utilize either our own poles or existing street light poles that you guys have. We have our own solar panels that we put on, so there is no infrastructure required by the city. It's 24/7 coverage, so it actually takes images of all the vehicles that kind of pass by. And what it does is provide real-time alerts if any of these issues come up as far as a stolen vehicle. It's integrated into the NCIC database, Amber Alerts, and then obviously custom hot lists that the police put in if they're investigating a certain vehicle or suspect. So the idea is to ethically build this product, right? So there's no people that are detected, there's no facial recognition, there's no traffic enforcement, and it is all indiscriminatory evidence. So what this LPR Falcon camera is, it's a license plate reader camera. It gathers objective evidence and facts about the vehicle, all publicly available information, so nothing about people. It alerts the police of wanted vehicles used to solve crime and adhere to all of the state laws in California. A key here is what it is not, and this is kind of the idea for today is to really provide the distinction. So what it is not facial recognition. Once again, no collection of biometrics or sensitive personal information, and it's not used for traffic enforcement, speeding, and data automatically deletes every 30 days. So how does the technology deter and eliminate crime? It's proactive real-time alerts. So if there's a stolen vehicle in your community that came from a different, part of California, you're going to get an alert. The police department will get an alert. They'll have a location of where that camera is that caught that vehicle and captured it, and they can enter that into evidence and proceed accordingly. It's good for investigative reasons. So if there's a regional approach, like Chief said, pretty much every agency in the county has flock already. So if there is an incident where multiple agencies are looking for a certain vehicle and it comes and hits on one of your cameras, you will be able to investigate that and help kind of build that case as a region. And then the flock cameras serve as a deterrent, right? So a lot of the agencies in California already have flock cameras. It is a well-known deterrent for criminal action. But again, the goal is to continue to help provide results, which will in turn provide a deterrent for your community. And as a trusted partner, again, we're very specific on wanting to adhere to privacy. So footage is owned by the agency. All the data is owned by your city, cannot be sold or provided by Flock. So you own all the data. 30-day retention, again, and automatically hard deleted of the images of the vehicles. Takes human bias out of the equation, and all data is stored securely with end-to-end encryption with our AWS provider. So accountability, right? You have to have a search reason and a user number saved to look up a vehicle. So a case number. There's no facial recognition, as we've been over, and it's not used for parking enforcement as well. One key point here is transparency portal. So we actually provide a kind of a landing page on your website, your city site, where we can provide transparency information. Where are the cameras? How are they being used? What agencies in California are you sharing access with? Things like that, so the community can kind of have that relationship with the PD and know how the system's being conducted. And this is kind of what that looks like, right? So customizable for each agency, displays your policy, publishes usage and metrics, measures crime patterns, audit search history, things like that. And we have this is free. We offer this to all of our customers, so we can build one out for your city website if you'd like. Here's just another kind of image of what the cameras look like. Again, I think in the locations that we are kind of working on with the PD, we are utilizing a flock pole, providing all of the infrastructure, the implementation, the solar panels, the LTE components. So it's all under one umbrella that we provide for you. So we're already solving and preventing crime across California, right, but let alone nationally. You can see some of the major headlines in suspects arrested in the Los Angeles area, right? Cross-jurisdictional investigations. The cameras are being used by a lot of agencies and acting as a regional system. So we have a variety of examples here, right? I want to look for some that you may be aware of. Here's just a good statistic. Within the first 2.5 months of Morgan Hill getting flock cameras, they found 51 stolen vehicles and made 66 arrests. So quick return on investment. And again, they actually ended up purchasing a phase 2 in a shorter time period than they may have projected, because it's a results-driven product, and they had a lot of success early. Again, some of the things like child abduction, Amber Alerts, there was an example here. The mother actually kind of reported that, saw the vehicle, reported the vehicle description, local law enforcement tracked it down, and I think within about 5 hours they were able to get the child back. So the LPR system is it's nationally used, and you guys would be joining a pretty extensive network in California that makes these types of investigations real time or post-incident possible. And I think that was my last slide. I appreciate you for letting me speak. Definitely happy to answer any questions you may have.
I'm going to clarify a couple of things also. It's like, since these are countywide, any agency can enter a vehicle, and that vehicle may not be our stolen, may not be stolen out of the city of Taft, but when it enters the city of Taft, we're going to get the hit. So that's how that works. Same with ours. As we enter ours, they go countywide to the other agencies, and when they enter their jurisdiction, they get a hit saying that vehicle's in there. You can look up vehicles through just catching a color, a make, and a broad year, and it will, during an investigation, it will actually notify you on those vehicles that matching that description go through your city. And therefore, you can utilize the flock cameras to pull up license plates and then, of course, attach that to the individuals you're looking for. And therefore, you're getting your investigative tools that just absolutely help in our criminal investigations, passing that stuff on to the district attorney and whatnot. So I just wanted to cover some of those areas. And this is, like we said, this has gone throughout the county, and so far it's been a big success. And it's time that I wanted to bring this to your guys' forefront and your guys' knowledge, where you have the opportunity to ask questions and kind of study this and see if this is something that might be worth having.
Excellent, Chief. Ron, do you have any questions for the chief on this?
Is this something we buy outright or rent, or how's it work?
Well, we actually, you pay yearly.
Yearly?
Yearly.
You're renting them more or less?
Yes, pretty
Okay.
much. And they take care of the cameras, the maintenance, damage. Now, of course, if there's vehicles that run into the poles and crush the cameras, that always goes to the insurance
Yeah.
of the vehicle. And of course, then if the city, and they work with us on that too. So then the city incurs some of the cost if they're not insured, and whatever the case is. But we actually, with Jake and the Flock company, they work with us on providing us equipment and keeping our equipment up. So it's definitely a benefit.
You got an idea of how many we should need in our town?
We do. 5 is what we're looking at, and we've already engineered where we would put them. Not quite going to give that away yet, but
Right.
it's coming.
Right. Thank you.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Chief, have you already got a proposal put together to give to the city manager and then also maybe bring before either the council or the finance committee?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you.
My only question would be is, do we foresee any type of damages? Do they damage easily? Are they protected easily, the cameras themselves?
The camera itself?
Right.
They're pretty sturdy. From what I've spoken with the other agencies that have them, they haven't incurred any problems. And I mean, things are built the way they're built nowadays. They do go wrong, but that's when Flock steps in, and if it's no fault, if it's a defective camera, if I recall right, Jake, they replace them?
Yeah, if there's a malfunction in any way, right, it's covered under Flock. But they're placed in strategic locations, and they're also a certain kind of height off the ground on the pole. So been a lot of kind of back and forth and figuring out what the best placement is for our cameras when deploying in the city. And for the most part, they're definitely durable and, weather resistant. So.
And we put them in positions to where they're out of the way, you would really have to maneuver yourself to hit it. Not saying it couldn't happen. We all know it can, but that's where we've engineered to put them.
Perfect, thank you.
Absolutely.
Chief, this is my personal experience with those cameras. I would say about 3 years ago, had an employee work here in Kern County, and moved down to Imperial Valley, El Central area, and the employee, I didn't know anything about it. He was a new hire. He committed murder here in Kern County, and he drove to El Central, worked there for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. One of those cameras caught up with him, got his license plate number, and they trailed it right to a Sizzler right there on the road where we went to eat, and they kind of surprised him there. But those cameras do work, and they do take crime off the street. And the gentleman at the end went to court and everything. They let him go because they considered it self-defense, what it ended up to be, so he was exonerated on that. But the idea is that they do solve crime, and either guilty or innocent, but they do solve crimes, and it makes it more easier for law enforcement to be more efficient in what they do, and it protects the citizens, what you're trying to do in the police department.
Absolutely, sir. Moving into the 21st century, utilizing the technology that's out there, and it's just, it's phenomenal. And I would love to bring drones to you, but those are pricey. But you're gonna start, there is a presentation that I will bring before you guys just to see it, just, you know, to understand that, and the technology nowadays is just moving forward, and it's assisting in all areas of investigations for law enforcement, and hope to be a part of it.
I just want to say, and I think I can speak for the council here, that we're very happy and proud of our police department. We're also proud of the sheriff department too, what they do working together with you guys. And you guys have always been very proactive. We got a brand new officer now. That's to help with, make our city safer and take care of some of the issues that some people have about our town. But we are very proud and happy what you are doing and our officers are doing for our city. And I just want to say that. And other councils want to join me on that, but we're very happy.
100%.
Thank you, guys, and
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and it's not me. It is the troops that are out there every day that are on the streets, doing their job, making the stops, following investigative leads, answering calls for service, and doing it in a professional way. I'm very proud of this group. Like I said, I wouldn't trade this group for any other group, so very proud of them.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, we're happy to help answer them for the next meeting.
Okay, our next on our statements will be a citizen's request for public comments. Comments are to be received as stated in the above policy. This is the time and place for the general public to address the city council on matters within its jurisdiction. State law prohibits the council from addressing any issue not previously included on the agenda. Council may receive comment and set the matter for a subsequent meeting. Please limit comments to 5 minutes. The first person would be Ray Ballard for outreach and Toys for Us.
Thank you, City Council, for allowing me the opportunity to speak. They say the greatest message that can ever be preached is the message of hope. And so I have a nonprofit called Children's Network of Hope, as well as I work with Toys for Tots. I'm the local Taft representative here. I have a little history with Taft. I go back with Taft all the way to the end of the 1970s, where I was actually in the foster care system right here. One of my first experiences after that as an evangelist, we came here to the park that's located right beyond these doors. We did an outreach where over 2,000 people from Taft showed up to our event, and we preached, we gave out food, we really made an impact, and so we did that event. And then we were here once again back when the Taft caught the national attention in all the cities across America. When the Taft High School shooting occurred. We were one of the first groups in there to come in and assist this community for what took place, the tragedy that nearly took place that day. And so we really have a strong bond and connection with this community. We love this community. And so my desire is to be as effective as I can for this town. And just recently, we just got done with our first outreach here at Wood Street Market, where we fed over 150 kids, gave out balloons, we spoke, we gave some inspiration, we had some hip hop artists, we did a great job at making an impact. And so we want to continue this effort. So here coming in December, we want to put together an outreach where we want to have Star Wars characters come out. We have Star Car Central that wants to come out and do a really huge toy giveaway that impacts the community as well. And I'm looking to find doors that could be opened where we can have the facilities large enough to accommodate the thousands of people that I believe that will show up for this, being that it is the holidays. Also, I'm with Toys for Tots. I represent this area, and so right now we're pending on a decision to have a hub right here to serve this community, so that people from Taft that want to receive some of these toys and services from Toys for Tots don't have to travel to Bakersfield. They come right here. And so we'll have that finalized by the 7th. And so we really have a lot to offer this community. And so I'm just asking for any support, any doors that might be open, or any businesses that would want to help raise toys and support for Taft kids right here in Taft. And so that's why I'm here. So I mean, if you want to take down my number, I'd be glad to hear from any of you. It would be great. My number is 661-348-1002. Once again, 661-348-1002. And right now, currently, we have just a few, like five toy drive locations now. We want at least 30 or 40 this season, because next season we plan to come back and really do a lot. And so I really want to say thank you to the Taft Police Department too, because they came out to the Wood Street Market event. Officer Levon, he participated, Officer Abigail participated. It's great to see just the community in action and coming together to help make a benefit and stop crime, drugs, and violence right here on the streets. And so thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next up will be Barbara Johnson.
I'm gonna read off my phone. On 9/24, I sent this email to the mayor and all council members and the city manager. For the past few weeks, my husband and I have been enjoying leisurely walks along the bike path, taking full advantage of the pleasant weather. However, on one evening, I went for a solo bike ride, which marked a disturbing turning point. Feeling afraid for the first time in my years of living in Taft, I realized that our bike path is no longer safe. The growing homeless encampment behind the Best Western Hotel has instilled hesitation in many community members, including myself, to utilize the bike path. Previously, I contacted Taft PD to report concerns, but the dispatcher asserted that the homeless have rights to occupy public spaces. Although an officer was dispatched, the homeless encampment remained, with one of its residents recently arrested, and it was revealed via Taft crime graphics that he is a convicted felon. That particular evening also involved an unleashed pit bull charging towards me, the dog belonging to the homeless group. Furthermore, I have heard alarming reports of break-ins and tool thefts from vehicles parked at the hotel. The inaction, despite prominent no loitering signs, is not only ridiculous, but it's also a blatant disregard for public safety and well-being. What's most disappointing to me is the fact that all of you live here and you drive by these homeless encampments. You're seeing exactly what I'm seeing. And it appears that you're ignoring the condition of our community. I received a follow-up email from Mayor Dave Knorr, council members Josh Bryant, Craig Jones, and Carlos Chavera. Thank you for responding. That meant a lot to me. Craig and Carlos suggested that I attend a city council meeting. Here I am. I've emailed everyone. You're aware of my concerns. You're now aware that others in our community also have concerns. In my correspondence with Mayor Knorr, I also attached over 20 comments made on social media regarding the homeless on the bike path. These attachments or screenshots were from their social media profiles. The comments were not fabricated. People are talking, and I know that all of you who are on social media see it as well. People are intimidated, and they're avoiding the bike path because of the homeless. And our community wants change, and we're looking for you to do something. Respectfully, Barbara Johnson.
Thank you. Next speaker would be David Johnson.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
We heard from the chief and the police department's perspective a few minutes ago. Excuse me. I'd like to relate a few stories. I'm going to echo a couple of things that my wife brought up. I've got it written out. I'm not much of a speech reader, so bear with me. I'm here tonight to speak concerning the issue of homeless loitering on the Roads to Trails Greenbelt My wife recently emailed members of the council and city manager voicing her concerns about fear and intimidation felt by her when she used the bike path alone. She also attached a lengthy list of comments from others from social media that echo her concerns. You guys didn't get that apparently. From at least 2 of those that were emailed, she was told, come to the city council meeting. I'm not sure what that would accomplish. I took it as a challenge that she wasn't sincere. Or maybe that's just the best you could come up with. Challenge accepted. We are here. As far as the homeless situation goes, let me say that the most of my interactions have been pleasant for them, as I have contributed to the problem by giving them money or food or encouraging them. Other times weren't so great. We called Taft PD to come get a tweaker that was completely spun from the alley behind our house. The officer showed up, talked to the guy for a few minutes, and then left the guy there. The guy was clearly under the influence of methamphetamine, and this is the same guy that assisted in burglarizing one of my coworkers' homes in Taft up there behind A Street Park. So I wound up befriending the guy because I got no assistance from the police officer. I wound up befriending the guy enough for him to get his garbage picked up and away from my back gate. Another time, a guy set up a tent about 200 yards or 200 feet away from my back gate on a nice patch of lawn under a tree on the bike path. I wanted him gone, so I didn't call Taft PD. I went over and asked what he was doing, and he said camping. I told him he couldn't camp there. He took down his tent and left. I don't know where he went, but that's as simple as it was. On another occasion, I watched a local homeless guy kick over Randy Miller's trash can. I believe you guys know him. Randy's back fence also borders the bike path. I drove by the guy and told him he needed to pick up the trash can. He began calling me and my dad every name you can imagine, and I feared that he may hurt my dad, so I drove off. I took my dad home. I wanted to kick his ass, so I didn't call Taft PD then either. I went and found him, got out of the truck, and gave him the tongue lashing he gave me and my pops. He started acting like he was crazy, and when he saw I wouldn't back down, he turned and took off. I'm glad he did, by the way. In retrospect, I'm glad he didn't do anything, because it would not have been well. I do not promote or endorse vigilantism, but what are we as tax-paying citizens to do whenever our wives and daughters can't even use the bike trail that the homeless pay 0 tax dollars to support? Where am I at here? Oh, here we go. If you all go to Cal Matters online, you can see what other cities are doing. It sounds like you guys may have a plan after listening to the chief, but these other cities are actively starting processes to make these things change already. And I invite all of you, any of you that want to come to my house to visit and discuss these things further, if you want to. If you come on Saturday night or Friday night, I might even open the bar for you. How am I doing on time?
You're fine.
I'd like to talk about a few positive interactions I had with homeless people. Just a few that come to mind. I was going into the bookstore over in Bakersfield. Everybody knows the name of it except for me right now. And there was a guy out there, obviously homeless, skin up from head to toe. I stopped and I talked to him. I said, "Man, what happened to you?" He started telling me about a bicycle crash that he got into, and I ride bicycles, so I can relate to that. It could have been a skateboard crash, I didn't care. But I talked to him, I spent time with him. I wound up giving him some money in case he wanted to get something to eat. 2 other guys over in Bakersfield. I didn't have a lot of time to talk to them, but I gave them some money and I said, I blasphemed God. I said, if you buy booze with this, God's going to give you a stomachache. I help these guys on occasion. I've given $100 to a family standing outside of Albertsons one day, and then heard from I don't know how many people, you just got scammed. God led my heart to help those people. That's what's important to me. We had a homeless girl in our neighborhood a couple of years ago. Me and my family were getting in the car to leave, and I seen across the street she was digging through the neighbor's trash can. I went over and I pulled out $20 and I said, Merry Christmas. She said, it's Christmas? That pulled at my heartstrings right there. I'm not a cold, heartless person. My wife isn't either. We had a guy digging in the trash can behind our house. She went out to see what was
Sir,
going on.
you have one more minute. I'll give you.
Okay, I'm on it. She went outside to see what was going on, and it was somebody she recognized from school. And she talked like a mother or a sister to that guy for 20, 30 minutes, trying to get in his head and see what's going on. And they had a good, solid conversation with each other. So she's not a monster either. We're just tired of having our quality of life messed up by the fact that these people have more rights to be up there and scare people than we have to be on the bike trail. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, sir. That concludes our, one more?
We have 4 that I'm going to read.
Oh, okay.
So we had 4 that came in via email, and I'm going to read them into the record right now. The first one is from Donna Ayers, and it says there has to be an alternative solution to the closing of Unity Thrift's yard sale. It is the only agency in Taft that raises money to take care of stray animals. They also pay to spay and neuter animals that the owners cannot pay for. I hope you try to come up with a different solution. The next one is from Rosie Gonzalez, and it says, to whom it may concern, my name is Rosemary Gonzalez, and I'm writing on behalf of Unity Thrift, an organization that helps our town's horrible animal population. I've been involved with the trap and release program for over 8 years, as I lived in an area of Taft that was stray populated. I moved to a neighborhood that luckily didn't need so much efforts, so I was able to take a break from making the transports to Bakersfield. Now, in the last 2 years, unfortunately, this town's animal situation has gotten even worse, and in every neighborhood. But now Unity Thrift has given this town an easy and local option to not only spay and neuter your own animals, but strays you come across. I have saw that they are getting heat from businesses and people of the community that their yard sale is an eyesore, so that they are asking that the area needs to be cleaned up at times that they are not open, which would be even more work for these volunteers, or even impossible because of lifting furniture. We cannot lose Unity Thrift. The organization not only helps spay and neuter hundreds of animals, but offers free immunizations. I've even sent our homeless to Susie Baker for their pets' needs. The city needs to make sure we don't lose Unity Thrift as an option for Taft. Since Unity Thrift started using Dr. Ross, posted in August, they've raised over $50,000 to fix over 350 animals in our community. Thank you for your time. A very concerned resident, Rose. The next one is from Dan and Catherine Lee. City Clerk, please make known to the City Council that my husband and I are in support of Unity Thrift and the yard sales they do on Main Street to take care of our animals in Taft. You don't see anyone else in our community stepping up to take the responsibility and actually do anything to take action to spay and neuter the animals. Please do not shut them down. Work with them and be able to continue the good work they do. Thank you. And the last one is from Raven Gonzalez, and it says, to whom it may concern. My name is Raven Gonzalez, and I am writing on behalf of the Unity Thrift Program. The Unity Thrift Program has been a vital resource for addressing Taft's serious stray animal issue. This program provides free spaying, neutering, and vaccination services for pets and strays at Dr. Ross's vet clinic, offering much-needed assistance to the community. The organization operates solely through the dedication of volunteers who generously donate their time and efforts. Recently, some have complained about the appearance of yard sales hosted by Unity Thrift, requesting that the organization clean up their area even when it is not open. This places an undue burden on an organization that is already working tirelessly to address our town's stray animal population. If we were to lose the support of Unity Thrift, we would have an even bigger problem on our hands due to our town already being overrun with strays. It is evident to all of us that we are facing a significant stray animal problem. We cannot go outside without encountering stray dogs and cats or witnessing the heartbreaking sight of a neglected animal on the side of the road, and the lack of enforcement of animal control laws worsen the situation. Our animal shelters are already overcrowded. We must express our gratitude to Unity Thrift for their unwavering dedication to the crucial cause and for saving countless lives. It is imperative that we do not let out-of-touch complaints undermine the only hope for these animals in our town. Thank you for your time. And that is it.
Well, I'd like to thank those people for their statements. I have one more person I missed. I apologize. And that would be Brandon Evans.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members, thank you for giving me a second to speak. Again, my name is Brandon Evans, and I'm the very new Director for Employers Training Resource and also the county's Chief Workforce Development Officer. I'm also here with Jeremy Schumacher, who is our Assistant Director for Employers Training Resource. I just come to share some information that is obviously of great importance to the city of Taft. We, as an organization, just recently received funds, $11.2 million over 33 months to serve oil and gas workers who've been negatively impacted by what's going on, so we can help them upgrade, which is what we'd love to be able to do. But if they need to transition into a new career, if they need to relocate, you name it, we can even help with mental health services through this grant. Again, Jeremy was very wise in writing the grant to make it very customizable. So as we find needs that we could have never even anticipated, this grant will be able to cover costs, provide individual expertise to whatever degree our services are available to you guys. So just wanted to, I've got flyers that we can leave with you. I've got my business card that I can leave with you. I'll take your question, but I know that time is not always our friend, so.
Well, thank you for offering that service.
Okay, so.
Okay, that concludes our public comment. Next up is council statements, and we'll start with Councilman Ron Waldrop.
I'd just like to, the gentleman that was talking about the toys, did he leave already?
No, I think.
Anyway, there is another outfit, and it started quite a few years ago, and it's called Toys for Taft. And to my understanding, it's still going. And we did that because everybody was taking everything over to Bakersfield, which is a good organization. But people couldn't make it over there, so we did it here. And I've been working it for 25, 30 years myself. Me and the wife started it. But we need to check with the local people first, whatever it may be. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bryant?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. To the folks that were speaking about the concerns, we want to thank you for being here, right? It's way, I would say it's way more impactful to have you here in front of us than even it is an email, although email's great, right? We love, hate the fact that we have to see where you're having concerns, but we love the fact that we can interact with you. We want folks to know that that's desirable. We want to see face-to-face, hey, what issues are you having, and how can we help serve you? And how can we even educate you on this is what we can't, or are doing, right? I think that's a great thing. And I can say without a doubt in my mind that every person, well, maybe not every person, but 99.9% of folks who are in this room or in this community share your general frustration with the things we're dealing with, right? Whether it's homelessness and vagrancy, whether it's enhanced crime, anything that we're dealing with is in this community as a result of decisions that are made at a higher level, right? A lot of this stuff is left in our lap and we're left dealing with the pieces and how do we react? I can say without a doubt that we do often look ourselves in the mirror and say, okay, what more can we do? Never being satisfied with with what we're doing as being enough, right? We look ourselves in the mirror and say, can we do more within the general confines of the law and within the resources that we have? And I can tell you we are doing that, we have been doing that, and we'll continue to do that far and away. And I think the chief alluded to some of that here later. Hopefully later this month or early next, we'll have some additional things to bring forth to the public as it comes before the council for consideration. But I just hope folks know that I believe we're doing the best that we can within the our current understanding. Do I think it's perfect? Absolutely not. I don't think it ever will be. I know for me, when I look at something, I'm never satisfied with what we're doing now. How can we get better is always going to be my mission and my goal, at least as one member of the 5 up here. And I assure you that all 5 of the folks believe the same thing, and as well as the members of our staff. But we appreciate you guys being here today. The one thing I will say, and I want folks to understand this, because Chief comes up and gives us stats every month. And I've never had interactions with other police departments in other places, right? So I can't say that, yeah, compared to other places, we are doing X, Y, Z better or worse. I can't say that. But I did sit here next to a former sheriff's deputy who was also a former police officer with us. I've had a chief sit on the other side of the dais. We talk often to the chief here. And both of them have always been floored about how many officer-initiated activities we have every month, especially when it comes to our total calls for service. Doing some simple math, and this is a recurring thing you'll see me talking about and see the chief underscore with his reports, 1 every 36 minutes, roughly on average, is how many officer-initiated activities we have reported. That's not the ones that don't come with paper. It's officer-initiated activities that come with a paper report every 36 minutes. And for a department of, Chief, how often do we have 2 to 3 officers on shift, right? You might have, during the day shift during the week, you probably got 2 officers and a sergeant, maybe 3 if we're lucky.
3 officers on a shift, now, not any right now, but 3 officers on a shift are usually once a day.
So across that, and again, I'm not trying to make excuses, I'm just being honest with everyone that's out there. To do what we do, to have 1 officer-initiated activity every half hour is significant. Is there meat on the bone to be had? I'm sure there is. There always will be. And I can assure you that that will be our directive, that how can we continue to pursue that and increase those numbers? But that's something I'm very, very proud of. Are we in a perfect situation? Absolutely not. We're going to be dealt the hand that we're going to have to play, 10 deuce when we'd rather have ace king. Right? If you're a poker player, you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, it's our job to play 10 deuce as best as we can, and hopefully we turn out like Doyle Brunson. Right? That's all I have, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Bryant. Councilman Zabar?
Yes, I'd like just to build off with John. I commend you guys for coming. In the last 2 years that I've been here, I see very little community attendance here. Today was one of maybe the 2nd or 3rd days that I can remember that people come here. And, this is your constitutional right. This is where people should be to voice their concerns. We invite people every week. The mayor sits up here inviting people to express their concerns. And this is where it's supposed to take place, to hold us accountable so we can have conversations and make informed decisions. So I commend everyone that's here. We've been talking about vagrancy. Last week, the last meeting, we talked about our concerns with vagrancy. I was reading that the governor passed an anti-camping law. So we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to the community to make sure that we're doing our part. And I can assure you that the conversations are happening, and you heard the chief himself discussing how we want to move forward with that. Additionally, don't miss out on October 10th TC Cookout. If you missed the California for Science and Energy, again, this was something where the community should have been. And there was folks there, but it would have been nice to see a lot more community involvement. This is what affects our community right now. We need more community involvement. So again, I commend you guys for being here. It's not easy going up to that podium and having a conversation in front of our peers or the rest of our communities and expressing our concerns. But this is where it takes place. And so I commend you. And of course, I have to end with quotes. So in regards to community involvement, the greatness of a community is the most accurately measured by the compassion action of its members. There is no power for change greater than community discovering what it cares about. And finally, we cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about progress and prosperity for our community. Our ambitions must be broad enough to include their aspirations and needs of others, for their sakes and for our own. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jabbar. It's a nice interesting meeting here tonight. You know, we wish that more people will come forward and express their concerns, good, bad, and ugly. We want to hear that. And you know, sometimes, like you mentioned, some of us probably didn't receive an email about some of the issues, but we echo it. We believe what's going on, and we're trying to solve it. The police department is doing all they can, but we do have laws that ties our hands, especially the police department. There's a lot of things they wish they could do, but they can't. And yes, the homeless, in my opinion, have more rights than we do, unfortunately. But the people elect those legislatures in Sacramento. Everybody elects the same ones, and they're not there to solve it. We need to get people in there that is truly wanting to take care of the problems we have in Sacramento and here in California. And like I say, in November, hopefully we can change that and go to the right path and get things taken care of. But we do have a great department here, great citizens here. We have lots going on here in Taft. A lot of programs. There is a crime. We have for the women. We have the Alpha House to go to. We have a lot of great organizations: the Rotary Club, the Lions Club, the Chiroptists, Kiwanis. We have so many organizations there. They're out there trying to help our youth and the people here in our cities to make our town a better place to live and play and work. But we do have a lot of good jewels here in our city, and but we just need to hear from you, because we as elected officials, we're just like you. It's not like all of a sudden we get elected, we know all the answers. We know all the things that solve all the problems of the world in our cities. We're just like you, and we just one vote to help solve the problems and guide the city. And it's like a watchdog over how things are going on within our cities. But we do have a great staff and a great department, and we've got great citizens here trying to do the right thing, to make things work and make things happen. And what I want to say is that we're such a good city that I don't know if I should say this, I'll probably get in trouble about before, but our governor is apologizing for me for something that I didn't do, or my grandfather did, or my dad did. He's apologizing for slavery, for California's role in slavery. And I just think they're out there to divide the people. Right now we're so close to tension right now, especially during elections and things, that we just need to be united as one. We're all Americans. We all have our problems. We all had our problems in our history. Let's go forward and make things right. Don't open up old wounds, because California was not a slave state. And that's what I want to say on that issue there, and let it lie on there. And if anybody has any issues, want to get environmental, there is a program out there by the San Joaquin Passenger Vehicle Replacement Program, put out by the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District. And people have old cars, especially the ones people who are financially challenged. There's programs out there where you turn your cars in or buy new ones and that are energy efficient and less pollution on that. There's programs out there people want to participate in. And I was going to give an email to people who want to acquire it, and I'll try to go real slow on there. But if you want to go to replacement clinics, it's scheduled throughout the valley, but you want to go ahead and do valleycan.org/CCCC/. You get in a program to tell you all what needs to be done to get you a voucher or help assist and get you a new car or a used car also. So I just want to pass that along for people here in Taft that would like to participate in that program. And for that, that's all I have to say. Next, I'm going to be department reports.
I think Chief already made his.
There he is.
Okay, who do we, anybody, okay, city manager statement,
I have nothing further tonight, Mayor Pro Tem.
city attorney statement,
Thank you, no statement.
and future agenda requests, anybody here?
None here?
I don't, no.
Nothing, Shamar?
Not here.
Perfect. Now we go on to our consent calendars, items 9 through 12. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussions on these items unless a member of the city council requests specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate actions. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after the regular business items. Are there any items on the consent calendar that any member of the public would like to comment on? Seeing none, item number 9 are the minutes for September 17th, 2024, regular meeting. Approve as submitted. Number 10, payment of bills, about 275,000 plus. Number 11, accept the completed work by Bowen Asphalt Incorporated for the 10th Street rehabilitation from crosswalk at bike pedestrian path to Kern Street project. Recommendation, motion to accept the completed work by Bowen Asphalt Incorporated for the road rehabilitation of 10th Street from crosswalk to bike path to Kern Street. STPL 5193044, authorize the city clerk the notice to file the notice of completion with the Kern County Recorder. Staff further recommends the release of 5% retention to the contractor after 30 days pending claims or liens filed during this period, and find that the activity is not the project per the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, set forth in section 15061B3. Number 12, approval of the street closure for the West Side Recreation and Park District Trunk or Treat event. Recommendation, motion to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft authorizing the street closure for the 2024 Trunk or Treat event, and find that the activity is not the project per the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, as set forth in section 15060C3, section 15378 of the CEQA guidelines. Do you have any council members who'd like to?
No.
Remove?
Not here.
See,
I'll make the motion to accept the consent calendar as presented.
And I will second.
excellent. We have a first, a second. Now we have roll call.
Councilmember Bryant?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldrop?
Yes.
Councilmember Chivera?
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes. Passes on 4-4 with one abstain. Next is item number 13 is Landscape and Lighting Maintenance District 1 Engineers Report for consideration of Proposition 218 rate increase. Recommendation, motion to receive September 2024 Engineers Report for landscape maintenance in District 1 and direct staff to move forward with a Proposition 218 process to increase the annual rate to be needed, $231 to cover the cost of the district, and find that activity is not a project per the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, as set forth in section 15060C3 and section 15378 of the CEQA guideline.
Make the motion.
Craig Johns.
I'll read the staff report real quick.
Okay.
The funds from the lighting and landscape maintenance district number 1 are collected by Kern County Assessor's Office and dispersed to the city as a special assessment. These assessments, when collected, go to the respective funds to pay for the maintenance and operation of the landscaping, walls, lighting, and drainage of the maintenance district. For many years, the district had a deficit, and the current deficit balance of the district as of 6/30 of 2024 is $116,640 and some change.
The city attempted their Proposition 218 process in 2013 and 2020 to raise the assessment to cover the cost of maintaining the district, but unfortunately, these ballots did not pass, and therefore has placed the district in a position where the deficit to account to maintain the district grows each year. City engineers has prepared an attached engineer's report for the purpose of the cost of analysis of the district. And per the report, the recommended amount needed to maintain the district is $231 annually per parcel. The city currently only collects $86 annually per parcel. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig.
I'll make the motion to accept the item as presented.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. First and a second, and Councilman Bryant?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Just real quick clarification. I live in the area, so do I need to recuse myself from discussion and voting? Okay, perfect. I didn't think so, but I wanted to be 100% clear. I do want to make sure that I'm very, very clear on this. I've been hounding on this on the heels of Randy Miller when he was hounding on this. I need folks to understand that $86 a year, and Craig mentioned that we're running a deficit, and we have been in this fund for probably a decade or two, at least. And at the end of the day, as someone who lives there, I am more than willing to spend the extra $12 per month, $12, I can't even eat out for that at a fast food joint, to make sure that the services and amenities that are afforded this district continue or are enhanced to the originally planned levels. It's a very, very small amount to pay to have a nice little, I don't know exactly what you call it, but something a little extra. Nice little lighting fixtures, maybe some nice shrubbery, maybe even having the sign on the Parkview Village area, replaced. You never know. It could be any of those things, all for $12 a month. All right? You look at this, and some folks are going to say, well, that's like a 200% increase. Yeah, when you look at it that way, sure it is. But 200% is worth it in my book when it really boils down to $12 a month per parcel, folks. So I fully support this. I look forward and will happily pay this so that the other taxpayers all across the city, the people who don't even live here, can stop subsidizing the folks who live in that area. That's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, what I would like to say is that, we've been talking about crime a lot lately and vagrancy. If we can get areas lighted up more, I think it's essential right now. And so if we've got to pay this extra to get that area lighted up, to help deter crime, to help prevent it, I'm all for it.
Thank you, Councilman Rivera.
You name it, it's all going up. So we got to get in swing with this because it's not going to get any cheaper. So I'm all for it.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, can I add one more thing?
Yes, you may.
So just more perspective, folks. There's roughly 120 parcels in the area. 144 parcels. Do the math, folks. Roughly $20,000 a year of your tax dollars today, absent of this change, is coming out of the general fund and funding this. How much could we do with $20,000 in our budget? Now, granted, it's not a big amount. We can't fund a new position. We can't do a lot of stuff with it, but it's $20,000 more than we had, and we'd be spending $20,000 less in one place that we could allocate elsewhere. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Bryant. Looking at this and what we have in the past, discussing it, we had a vote, election to vote on it, and it failed. But the money is coming from all the citizens to subsidize this track right here, 144 tracks there. And all we're asking is the 144 of those who approve of it, or a majority of it approve it, so we can go on and do better things, with it. Right now, we can't afford the water, the electric, and the maintenance of it. We're on a bare bones trying to maintain it. And yes, we're using funds that was not allocated to it, or taking it from our general funds to subsidize it, to keep it in good, decent conditions, but it could be better. So we just need your approval on it to make this happen and make Taft a better place and a safe place for everybody. Go ahead and do a vote?
Councilmember Bryant?
Yes.
Councilmember Waldrop?
Yes.
Councilmember Chivera?
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Cryer?
Yes.
Passes
And-
on a 4-0.
Thank you. Now we're going to go ahead and close our council meeting and go into closed session with a conference with our real property negotiator, Craig Jones, city manager, for Government Code Section 54956-8, two undisclosed parcels. And close the meeting.